Hello and welcome into another edition of River Dragons Weekly. I'm VP of Communications and play-by-play broadcaster Zach DeBozart. And the River Dragons, well, they had a very hectic, very crazy weekend, but it was all good news for Columbus this weekend, and we've got highlights. We start up against the Menor Icebreakers, and remember, these games were supposed to be on the road, but because of the administrative flip-flop or the administrative agreement to flip-flop the location of the games, these were played at the Civic Center. We were happy to have everyone out there, but in case you missed it, here's how Friday looked.
To McClendon's right, Lirakos will win it. Howie, left point, a shot, score! Jake Howie with a seeing eye shot makes it 1-0 off the face-off. Icebreakers moving this one ahead. Berger into the zone, deflected off Farrington, so no icing. Clouston getting checked there by Farrington. Those two going to the left wing boards. In front of everybody is Morrow. He's tied up by Shapitzin. Loose there for Pinkowski, and he scores! 6:10 to go here in the first. Still 1-1 at the Civic Center. Pass went through Howie's legs. Conway took it. Pad save on the back door. Nada denied. Karpinski spread out on his chest. Right point. Trombley with it at the circle. Plays it down to the corner for Krupp. Bondarenko some space and he scores! Ivan Bondarenko burying that one top corner. And now it's 2-1 Columbus. Lirakos wins it clean. Howie left point. Fires a shot. It deflects in front. Loose in the slot. Lirakos scores! Yanni Lirakos banging it home. And it's 3-1 Columbus. Moskal gets away from a man. He's with it, left wing circle. Moskal stops up, thought about the wraparound. Bondarenko scores! What a pass, Parker Moskal! Unreal, and Bondarenko with the tap in 4-1. Left point, Howie holds it in. Down into the corner for Lirakos. Now to Gerson, fires and scores! Jacob Gerson, his first career goal as a professional, and it's 5-1. Horvath. And that one is chopped off of Graham, still in play along the near boards. Howie to Bondarenko, Deeks waits, Graham spinorama, backdoor, they score! Wyatt Trombley finding it off of Graham, and it's 6-1 on the power play. Lirakos at the hash marks, gets away from a man, he's got some space, fires on a blocker save, made there by Brandt. Clouston holds in left point, his shot deflected and scores! Yanni Lirakos getting the lumber on that one, and it's 7-1. To is CJ Hayes. They trade places. Moskal right circle, a shot just whistled it wide of the glove hand. Loose in front and they score. Parker Moskal gets the goal against his former team, and now it's 8-1. It's in the zone though. Trombley right point, a shot deflected by Moskal just wide of the near post. Dimmin a chance, wraparound, score. Bring it back for Graham. Bondarenko takes it behind the net, wrapping it around with some space. He scores! Ivan Bondarenko sending the hats flying as it's 10-1. Behind the net, Trombley trying to work it back up those far boards. Picked up off the wall by Moskal, sending it ahead to Hayes. Hayes has a breakaway up the right circle, fires, score! CJ Hayes, short side and a beauty, 1-0 Columbus. To the center point, Howie over for Lirakos, right wing circle. 1:05 left to go in the man advantage. Lirakos, right corner, drives the net, he scores! Lirakos from a short side angle, power play goal, and it's 2-0. Home for Menor on the far side. Dimmitt will take it ahead for Hayes. Hayes, left wing side, 2-on-2 with Moskal. He drops it back to him, left circle, pass to the middle, and he scores! That one goes off of Hayes, and it should go as his second of the night. 12:57 to go in the first, 3-0. Is the referee taking both here? Oh, Kugler just made Daniluk flinch, and they're going to drop him. Kugler going to fire two rights in on Daniluk. Kugler's lost his lid. Daniluk trying to rip his off, and Daniluk will wrestle with Graham behind the net. Bondarenko with some space. Back for Graham, right wing corner. To the middle, and Artson, one-timer, score! That's some pretty tic-tac passing. Stuart Dant will win it. Pishtuka flips it off the short glass. Ozelich pawed it down. And look out here, Ozelich is going to go with the man. Ozelich tying up with Oade. Ozelich firing in rights. Oade trying to hold on to cover him up. And Ozelich sets him down, uses the bench to hold himself up and looks over him. Move this one to the hash marks, passing across now to Clouston. 5:18 to go here in the Aflac first period. 4-0 Columbus. MJ Graham with some space, right circle. Backdoor, Bondarenko scores. Ivan Bondarenko's on a hot streak. MJ Graham put it right onto his tape. Menor still trying to move this out of their own end. Daniluk up ahead for Newberg, right wing side, 2-on-2. Newberg, a shot, he scores! Clouston down into the corner. Morrow able to win that one-on-one battle. To the middle. Newberg trying to look for his second there. It was blocked in front. Howie, left wing corner, plays it back behind the net for Clouston. All this back in the Columbus end with 5 seconds left to go in the first. Clouston flips it ahead. CJ Hayes got to get on his horse. Hayes waits, looks, fires. He scores! Will it count? The referee points and says yes. Here, Horvath off the glass, falls into the path of Clouston. Clouston moving this ahead to Dimmitt. Kareem's off of his stick, and now here's Nada in over the line. Nada 2-on-1, pass across. Clouston broke it up. Pitkowski a chance loose, and they score. A little bit of a broken play at the left wing circle. Hayes to Howie at the point. Right point Clouston. Circle to Hayes. He waits. Backdoor. Dimmitt fires and scores. There's the goal Cameron Dimmitt was looking for backdoor. Down into the corner. Too far for Morrow. It'll rim around to the far boards, and there's Farrington. Oslich puts a check onto him. Give and go. Farrington back. They score.
7-3. Man, what a game there. What a series. The River Dragons will end up winning that season series with the Menor Icebreakers. Now, we moved on into Sunday's game, and it was a road game in Winston-Salem against the Carolina Thunderbirds. Originally scheduled for 4:05, there were some issues that we'll get into a little bit later on in the show, but the game had to be delayed to 4:30. The team had a very interesting travel plan to get there, but everyone got there with all the crazy circumstances. Who knew what could have come out of this game? Well, now we know, and here's how it looked.
Near side corner, this one rimmed around, trying to pick it up in stride is Daniel Martin, but he turned it over to Trumbley. He'll shoot it in just wide of the net on Curl. He'll stick it there to the near side. This one played away. Laporte stole it, right circle to the middle. Gerson scores! Jacob Gerson, his second goal as a professional, came off a bad turnover from Carolina, and the River Dragons have an early lead, 1-0. Tires feet, now he'll find a loose puck on the logo and dump it in. Far side circle, Trumbley, over to Howie. Howie with a stretch pass ahead, Jay Krupp on a breakaway. Jay Krupp right circle, Deeks, score! Jay Krupp faking Kelly Curl one way and sliding it home in his former barn. 16:15 to go in the second, and it's 2-0. Here's Martin trying to skate this one against the Columbus defense. Fallis, great back check. Loose here for Panachik off the bench. He fires, shoulder save, rebound loose. Karpinski dives, finds it, and Fallis clears. Krupp is able to corral it. Ahead for Liarakos. He's got some speed. Graham trying to drive the net. Liarakos to the middle, and Kenny on a diving play knocks it back. Krupp all alone. Waits, score! Jay Krupp, 2 goals in this game, baby. 3-0 Columbus. Haas 3-on-3 as he hits the line. Haas left wing side, dropping it back. Bunn, bottom of the circles, couldn't get around Clouston. Liarakos collects in the neutral zone. From the red line, he'll flip this one in. Wright going to be first in on this, so Kelly Curl comes in to play it. Rims it to the near corner. Liarakos to the middle. Loose in front. Graham with a chance. Score! MJ Graham makes it 4-0. Was able to read it. Howie poking it ahead. Oh, Hayes had a breakaway there, but he couldn't reach behind him. Now he does. CJ Hayes with George Holt racing it out of the box. Hayes backhand sent wide of the blocker hand. Dimmitt a chance side of the net, and Curl got there in time. The third. Vlasov rims this one around. Davis can't control it. Gerson takes a check, holds it in left point, plays it back to Howie. Howie in his own blue line can skate this one back into his own end. 4 seconds left to go here in the third, and the River Dragons have shut out the Thunderbirds. They sweep the 3-3. Cody Karpinski, his second shutout of the year and 5th as a professional.
A 4-0 shutout. Probably a surprising result, but you knew the team was good enough to win a game like that, and they showed it off big time Sunday afternoon in Carolina. It was a lot of fun to call that game, and we will have one of the big players in that one, Cody Karpinski, his 45-save shutout effort. We'll talk with him about that and a whole lot more later on in tonight's show. But 3 wins out of 3 for the weekend. All 9 points going to the River Dragons from the Menor Icebreakers and the Carolina Thunderbirds this weekend. So lots to like. The team's now on a 9 wins in 11 game streak right now. So they are catching fire and things are looking up right now if you are a River Dragons fan trying to reel in the other teams in the Western Division. We'll have more on the standings and more looking ahead to the Battle Creek Rumblebees also later on in the show, but for now it's time to take a break. When we come back, we will have River Dragons netminder Cody Karpinski talk about that 45-save shutout against Carolina. All that and more. It comes up next. Don't go anywhere.
The best damn spirits in the world We say that because we care about what we do. The premium quality of our spirits doesn't come from some secret recipe or magic water. It comes from our desire to craft the best damn spirits in the world. Swamp Fox Distilling Company. Premium, small batch spirits made with pride in Buena Vista, Georgia. Now available at your favorite local package store.
Let Shredaway, a division of the Overbee Company, take care of all your document shredding needs. We can design a custom shredding program for your business today. No need to purchase equipment, no maintenance expenses, no need to prepare records for destruction, increase employee productivity, increase security, no worry. Was it really destroyed? Right now, all new customers can receive 10% off. Shredaway, a division of the Overbee Company, locally owned and operated in downtown Columbus. That's Shredaway, 706-577-9668.
Dishes. Not pretty in your sink. Not pretty on your house. Weather interference. Also not a pretty picture. And those long-term contracts and early cancellation fees. The fine print is pretty ugly. With Beam, there are no contracts, channels you want, high-speed internet, and no data caps. And above all, local customer service. Now that's pretty. Ask us today about our contract buyout special in cable and internet bundles. Beam. We're powered by you.
Welcome back into River Dragons Weekly. It's now time for our special player guest interview, and today it might be a repeat, but hey, it's a repeat that is definitely worth it, especially after last weekend. Cody Karpinski on the show again. Cody, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Zach.
I don't think we had you on, what, like 2-3 weeks ago? You're starting to become a regular now.
Yeah, I think I was here, 2 days or whatever, the first week.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, though, it's for good reason we had you on. We showed the highlights in the earlier segment. We're going to take this a little bit out of order, obviously. 45 save shutout in Carolina. We'll talk about the circumstances leading up to it in a bit. But just in that game, in that moment, what were you feeling? Because after a 3-3, the legs are probably feeling it, the body's feeling it. But you put out a performance like that, the team in front of you. How'd that feel?
It was great. The guys really a 3-3 is always tough. It's obviously physical, but also mentally. And so for the guys to be, really out there blocking shots, and we just, I think as a whole too, just tried to really keep it simple considering the circumstances, and ended up working out in our favor. And it was, I think again we were just kind of riding a little bit of adrenaline or emotion or whatever it might be, but yeah, just felt awesome, and came out with a 4-0 victory, so 9 points on the weekend. Yeah,
that's huge. 9 points on the weekend, and we've won 9 out of our last 11. Many of them you've backstopped. We'll talk about that in a second, but I want to, because you said the circumstances, and we need to let people know about that. We had a 6 a.m. plan to leave from the rink, and then something happened. We had to turn back, and basically after exhausting all options, a lot of us, we ended up driving ourselves. Guys are showing up at different times. It's not exactly, it's organized chaos, basically, is the way to call it. But we all got there. We got 18 onto the ice, and our 18 were better than their 18 on that night.
Yeah, we had, I think the first half of us showed up a half an hour before we were supposed to go on for warm-ups. We had guys coming out during the first period, a couple, and I think we just tried to keep it simple as possible, especially 3-3s are tough as is, especially when, before all the other circumstances, existential crises and whatnot. But yeah, that was we just, managed to string it together and just, kind of be like, all right, you know what, we're right. Again, thankfully we pulled out the 9 points in the weekend, and thankfully it was a 4-0 victory, so.
And it's one of those things too where, minor league hockey, you hear some stories about that every now and again. Yeah. But I think more than that, it's like when those things happen, it feels like it can be extremely good or extremely bad. Yeah. Because, you could easily see oh no, we would have lost that game big, and you could have blamed the travel and all that. But the guys didn't do that. The guys battled through, and they ended up on the other side of that spectrum where it's all sorts of chaos. You don't know what's going to happen, but it ends up good on the other side.
Yeah, I think, you're kind of playing with house money, because at that point you're just praying and hoping to have a decent game, and thankfully, again, just kept it simple, and, the guys were like, all right, we're here, might as well, and yeah, it was just worked out in our favor. And I think it, not to take away from Carolina at all, but I think they kind of they saw what happened in warm-ups and, kind of me skating around for a minute alone by myself. And they kind of were like, probably took a little bit off the gas to start the game. And then, we came out hot and it kind of caught them on their heels. And I just never thought they recovered from it. So thankfully it worked out in our favor.
That lone minute on the ice probably got you got you to good headspace out of everything, right?
I just try to listen to music and bob my head a little bit, stretch my groin, and we're good.
So the River Dragons have won 9 out of their last 11. This is Cody Karpinski, one of the netminders, wears the number 33 for your River Dragons. You have 2 shutouts in those 9 out of 11. Both of them have been on the road. So in Carolina, you probably worked a little bit harder, 45 saves, all the circumstances. But you were in Watertown, where you had won a Commissioner's Cup. Which one felt better for you?
At the end of the day, they both feel good. Again, both team wins. The one in Watertown was 7-0, I think, and today or yesterday was 4-0. So, again, just real team wins. But yeah, they're both like little, I guess, notches in the belt that feel good and just kind of give you a little bit more confidence moving forward. So. It always, I don't care who it's against. I just want to beat the hell out of everyone, frankly. Well,
you and Rutledge have become something of a great tandem. Over the nine points that we took last weekend, you had the Friday win 10-1. Probably didn't have to work as hard. I think you only saw, about 25 shots compared to the Sunday game, so that was good for you. And then Rutledge coming in for the Saturday win. So you guys as a tandem has really been great. I think fans are appreciating that. And since we had you on the show previous, fans have gotten to know you, where you came from, so we won't get into that. But you were telling me a story on the road. You actually have a pretty famous connection to somebody in the music industry. Would you like to let fans know about that a little bit?
Oh, yeah. A good friend of mine, Mike Ranica, is the vocalist for a metal band called The Devil Wears Prada, who I met through hockey, strangely enough. Long story short, he ended up coming to skate out with my college team when they were on tour, and that was like 2-3 years ago, and I think I've talked to Mike literally every single day since then.
Wow.
He's a good buddy of mine now. So
you think about trying to get him down to Georgia and maybe do a celebrity appearance there?
I think actually they're on tour here. I think they stop in Atlanta, I think, in a month or so, like a month and a half. So yeah, I know Diego was mentioning that and sent me the dates, and I was like, all right, well, looks like we're going.
So there's a chance. That's pretty cool. And obviously, many fans you might not know if you're not fans of the music, but The Devil Wears Prada, an award-winning metal band across a number of different things.
Yep, gold record. I think I know at least one, if not, I want to say 2, because I think their very first album ended up going gold, and then With Branches Above and Roots Below went gold. So yeah, they're pretty successful. So.
Well, that's really cool. And hey, if it works out, maybe we can get a little celebrity appearance. We'll blast that out on social media. We'll let fans know. We'll keep you engaged as to what goes on there. Cody, we only got a little bit more time left in this one. Your second shutout over this 2020 stretch really seems to have done the River Dragons well. What do you think has been the biggest thing that's helped the team turn the page to look like an unbelievable team? Again, 9 out of 11 that we have won here recently.
I think it's just, the guys, we're all just we're really close, frankly. We're pretty much hanging out with each other every single day, but really just starting to come together and really, as cliche as it sounds, really just buy into the systems. Boomer's a great head coach, and really helps when, the guys and everyone else, everyone buys in, and it keeps the game pretty simple. And I think to begin with, the skill was always there. It was more of just kind of putting everything together and working as one cohesive unit rather than, one line there, one line there, one line there. And now that everyone's working together, it's kind of, nobody's going to stop the war of attrition. Like, we're going to take our guys over theirs every single time. So I think just more of everyone's just kind of gelling and coming together at the right time.
Well, the team is definitely gelling together well. Again, winners of 9 of the last 11, and with 2 coming up against Battle Creek, we hope to just continue those winning ways and try and continue to climb the Western Division. Cody, you've been phenomenal as always. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Zach.
Maybe you get another shutout. Maybe we'll have to have you on again. I don't know.
Maybe.
Cody Karpinski on River Dragons Weekly. Stick around. We've got to look ahead to the Battle Creek Grumblebees, the standings, and a whole lot more coming up after this. Don't go anywhere.
At Georgia Power, we believe our lake should be filled with water, not trash. that a healthy honeybee population will pollinate a healthier environment. That building homes is just as important as powering them. That's why we believe what we do off the grid is just as important as the clean, safe, reliable, affordable energy we provide on it. And that's a different kind of energy.
The best damn spirits in the world. We say that because we care about what we do. The premium quality of our spirits doesn't come from some secret recipe or magic water. It comes from our desire to craft the best damn spirits in the world. Swamp Fox Distilling Company. Premium, small batch spirits made with pride in Buena Vista, Georgia. Now available at your favorite local package store.
Dishes, not pretty in your sink, not pretty on your house. Weather interference, also not a pretty picture. And those long-term contracts and early cancellation fees, the fine print is pretty ugly. With Beam, there are no contracts, channels you want, high-speed internet, and no data caps. And above all, local customer service. Now that's pretty. Ask us today about our contract buyout special in cable and internet bundles. Beam, we're powered by you.
Welcome back into River Dragons Weekly. A big thanks to Cody Karpinski for spending some time with us again. I know we had him earlier on in this season, but it was fun to catch up with him, especially after the 45-save shutout in Carolina, and get to learn a little bit more about him and his personal side. Who knew he had such a connection in the music business? So that's pretty cool to talk about there with him. Well, after 3 wins in 3 nights and winning 9 of the last 11, the River Dragons are looking pretty darn good in the standings. Let's take a look at those right now. Over in the Western Division, you can see Carolina still atop the Western Division with 87 points on 37 games. That gap between them and second place Port Huron starting to tighten up a little bit. 65 points in 35 games for the Prowlers. Danville, the same number of points, but on 37 games. And you can see within striking distance, the Columbus River Dragons, 51 points on 36 games. If this upcoming weekend against Battle Creek goes well, the River Dragons will find themselves above 500 in the points percentage. And then Battle Creek rounding up the Western Division in 5th place with 4 points on 37 games. Over in the Eastern Division, Danbury continues to lead the way. The Hat-Tricks have 78 points on 37 games played. They're about 10 percentage points better in the points percentage than Elmira, who has 67 points on 37 games, so an 11-point difference there. Watertown not too far behind in 3rd, 63 points, 38 games played. Menor Icebreakers losing some ground a little bit on those runaway 3. The Icebreakers, though, sit comfortably in 4th with 45 points. Delaware with 4 games in hand on the Icebreakers, but are 21 points back. If the Thunder can catch fire, or what's a pun for electricity? I don't know. But Delaware, with only 21 points back, but 4 games in hand, still within shouting distance of the Menor Icebreakers there. That's a look at the standings. Let's take a quick peek at the FPHL schedule coming up this weekend. Obviously, as we've told you, the River Dragons will be hosting the Battle Creek Rumblebees for 2 games. More on that in just a little bit. The Danbury Hat-Tricks host the Delaware Thunder for 2. That was after the Delaware Thunder hosted Danbury for 2 last weekend. Watertown and Elmira, they'll play a 3-3 set. The first 2 will be in First Arena in Elmira, and the Sunday afternoon game will take place in Watertown. The Port Huron Prowlers will host 3 games. They host the Menor Icebreakers Friday and Saturday, and then they host the Danville Dashers on Sunday. The Dashers host the Carolina Thunderbirds Friday and Saturday, and then have to travel to Port Huron. And that takes us to Battle Creek and Columbus, this 2-game set. Now, there's a lot going on here, and if you followed with us on last week's show, we told you about the different things with this weekend in terms of promotions and ticketing opportunities. So let's break them down for you here. On Friday, we have a 7:35 puck drop. That's tomorrow against the Battle Creek Rumblebees. If you received a blue raffle ticket from our January 11th game, when there was a big storm in the area, we wanted to show our appreciation for the fans that were able to make the game and see our 11-9 win against Port Huron. You certainly got a great game if you were able to make it out there. But you received a blue raffle ticket if you attended that game. If you bring it to tomorrow's game against Battle Creek and show it to the River Dragons table that'll be set up in the lobby area of the Civic Center, you'll receive 1 free ticket to the 200 level of that game. So by the blue raffle ticket, you're automatically into Friday's game. Now, this game was switched because it was originally scheduled for the 13th. You might see that on your pocket schedules and other printed media from earlier in the season. Whether your tickets say the 13th or the 14th, there is no issue for you. You will be able to get into the game. And also, if it's the 13th and you're watching today and you're thinking, oh no, I got to get to the game, don't worry, it is tomorrow. So again, whether your tickets say 13th or 14th, or if you have the blue raffle ticket, make sure you bring that in. Bring your tickets, obviously, too, if you have that. But you're able to get into the game, no problem. Then on Saturday, a 6:05 puck drop. It's Chattahoochee Valley Family and Kids Magazine's Kids Night. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got some very entertaining things planned for our media timeouts and our intermissions. But if you pick up the Chattahoochee Valley Family and Kids publication for this month, you will see an offer from the River Dragons in their pages. You bring that into the Civic Center, and with one adult ticket bought, you get 2 kids 12 and under free. And again, that's thanks to Chattahoochee Valley Family and Kids Magazine. So there's the big lowdown Friday and Saturday, what goes on at the Civic Center. Again, a 7:35 puck drop on Friday and a 6:05 puck drop on Saturday. These will be the first time we see the Battle Creek Rumblebees. So gonna say a new opponent. Interesting to see how these two teams will match up. Obviously, Columbus, with the hot streak that they're on, you hope to see them continue the winning ways and again try and reel in the Danville Dashers and the Port Huron Prowlers, who, as we mentioned in the standings, find themselves tied but still within striking distance for your River Dragons. After Battle Creek, just looking ahead at other parts in the schedule, we're on the road in Danbury for 2 next weekend, but then the Hat Tricks come right back down to Columbus with us for a 3-3 set. Lots going on there. Friday the 28th, that's Faith and Family Night. Saturday the 29th is Military Appreciation Night. That's Liberty Utilities bringing you that special night. We've got specialty jerseys. Of course, military, active military and veterans will receive a special ticket offer at the box office. There's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be a big night. You know Columbus, military town, Fort Benning. It's going to be wild in the Civic Center. If you haven't attended a game yet, get to this one. Saturday, February 29th. That's against the Danbury Hat Tricks. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. You're not going to want to miss it, and you'll get hooked on hockey. We can almost guarantee that. And then, of course, Sunday, March 1st, we have got the finale of that 3-3 set. And after 5 straight games against the same opponent, an opponent who is very good, again, atop the Eastern Division, you know it might get a little chippy, might get a little rough. If you're a fan of the fights, might have 1 or 2 there for you as well. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. The rest of this month and beyond is jam-packed with a lot of exciting stuff for you, and we hope to see you out at the Civic Center. My big thanks to Cody Karpinski, who was our special player guest interview on tonight's show. A big thanks, as always, to the fine folks here at CTV Beam, who help us put on this program for you on a week-to-week basis. And, of course, thanks to the River Dragons front office, allowing us to do this for you, to bring you all the River Dragons content and information you could ever want. I'm Zach DeBozart, the voice of the River Dragons. Next time you'll hear from me, that'll be tomorrow, 7:35 puck drop, 7:05 pregame show on WRCG and on the Columbus River Dragons YouTube page when we have our first crack at the Battle Creek Rumblebees. Until then, we'll see you later, and have a good night, everybody.